Welcome back to Nashville and the third Saturday in October podcast, your SEC water cooler pack podcast for the rest of us. Find us online, thirdsaturdayinoctober.com, on social media at TSIO Pod. You can also find us there on Venmo, or you can find us at buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod to support the show. You can also support us by sharing us with a friend. We love that because um, if you're an Auburn fan, misery loves company. Um,
That is true.
there are a few other teams that LSU as well. Florida, misery loves company. Jared, you came to Nashville, and I want to talk about that in a few minutes, but I want to talk about football scores first.
Sure.
Um, let let's kind of run through these. It was a bye week for a lot of teams, so we don't have
Yeah.
as many scores. Um, but we do have some important scores. Texas A&M beats Missouri, top 25 matchup. Missouri kind of where where are they going to fall? Like they were looking like they were on the bubble. They're now 6-3 after losing 38-17.
Which is still a really good record.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
for the haters. Yeah.
Eli Drinkwitz still doing great things at Missouri. Has he hit his ceiling at Missouri? Maybe so. Is he is
I
he
don't know if that's
destined?
true.
Is he
Um,
destined? I mean,
yeah.
it's hard though
I think
to
they're overachieving for this season because if I recall, their starting quarterback or what would have been was out at the very beginning of the season. So,
yeah.
and they've still managed to win six. So, yeah, and the teams that they're losing to are really, really excellent teams. So,
Yeah, like 9-0 A&M.
yeah.
Which
Yeah, and
by the
A
way,
and M's the real deal. That's what that game told me is this isn't a fluke. A and M's a very good team. They're gonna. It would be a surprise to me if they didn't potentially win the SEC and go far in the playoff. So
yeah, and I loved SEC shorts this week because I know several A&M fans that they're like, "Hey, there's still time for us to blow it." And the SEC shorts kind of revolves around that this week. Um
that's
LSU
funny.
uh LSU just not showing up against Alabama, losing 20-9.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Alabama is kind of just looking more and more the part of Alabama.
yeah,
Uh,
and that game was in Tuscaloosa, which was already an uphill battle, especially after losing your coach and they benched Nessmeyer, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they have to um, navigate. But that said, they've only got four losses, and Auburn would kill to have that. So yeah.
by the way, I heard today that LSU and Brian Kelly are in a bit of a mess. LSU
Oh, I
saying
heard that too. Yeah.
is it
What a
saying that they
weird,
did
yeah. They're being cheap is what it sounds like. Maybe I'm
yeah
wrong,
that
but
they're saying they didn't actually fire Brian Kelly,
yeah, of course they did. That's
and then they're saying that they're proceeding with the firing of Brian Kelly for cause, which would mean they don't have to
yeah,
pay their
right.
50 million
There is
dollar
zero
buyout.
chance any of this is going to stand. That's my opinion. There's no way
The
he's
the
going to get his buyout. That's ridiculous. Of
the
course they
biggest
fired him. Yeah.
right. So the biggest question is this going to scare away potential head coaching hires?
I don't know. Money's money.
What a
You can win
mess.
at LSU. My guess is it's not ideal, and then they're gonna have to explain themselves, but money talks. So
Yeah.
that's my guess.
The Bulldog Bowl, Georgia defeats Mississippi State 41-21. Um,
Yeah, no, sadly, no surprise there, but no disrespect to Mississippi State. So
yeah. Ole Miss blanks the Citadel 49-0.
yeah, and the weekend of Veterans Day, so it's kind of nice of them not to go uh, hang 70 on the Citadel, which they
Right.
could have done. Yeah,
Um, Vanderbilt in a heck of a game against Auburn. Like
yeah,
I saw a lot of fight from an Auburn team that 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 overperformed
Hmm.
according to this season's standards against Vanderbilt. Um, 45-38 was the final there. Jared, I know you were at this game with a longtime friend and fellow Auburn fan. I want to know a little bit about this, just specifically the game day experience at Vanderbilt.
Well, I've never been to Vanderbilt. Well, I've been to Vanderbilt, but I've not been to a game. So this was my first time to go to a football game, and I'm not sure what the experience was like in the past. I've heard it wasn't anything to be real proud of. That being said, I thought Vanderbilt had a nice little stadium. It's a small stadium in comparison to other SEC stadiums, and even a number of Big 12 stadiums for that matter. I would say the stadium size of Vanderbilt is probably about the same size as UCF.
Hmm,
UCF
gotcha.
being a former, AAC school now in the Big 12. So the stadium's not massive, but it is there's not really a bad seat in the house. A nosebleed
True.
at Vanderbilt is still almost like a lower bowl in Neyland Stadium at for Tennessee or even at Jordan Hare at Auburn. So it's not really a bad seat. There was some creative things that Vanderbilt did to kind of engage their fans and keep them in the game, and that was fun. And a lot of hype videos and stuff like that. And there was a good turnout from Auburn fans, as expected. And the game itself was a really good game. I'm obviously disappointed Auburn couldn't finish the job, but hats off to Clark Lee and Vanderbilt, and of course Diego Pavia owns Auburn. He's beaten them 3 times now. And but that said, I was very proud of the offense bouncing back. We saw a major difference in the offense for Auburn fans this week. This was the offense we thought we'd see all year, and we saw it against Vanderbilt. Um, and what's the common denominator? Why now? It seems to be because Hugh Freeze is not calling the plays and he's not there, which is kind of interesting. The offensive coordinator, Derek Nix, he's coached under Lane Kiffin, now Hugh Freeze. He knows those guys. He knows their offenses, and he called a really good offensive game plan, I think, for the most part, and we just came up a play short in overtime. That said, yeah, fun game. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed my experience after the game. We went to the San Antonio Taco Company or Satco, I believe is what you
Yep.
call it. Had a good experience there. We showed up about 5 minutes late after the game, so there was already a pretty decent line. But normally, I think it's probably not that bad, but it was bad when we got there. But that
Yep.
was that wasn't because Satco's not good. It's they obviously they're great because they had a massive line and social proof like crazy. But we got in there, we did eat, and it was excellent. I had enchiladas actually. I had
There you
tacos the
go.
previous night, so um, at a Velvet Taco. Um, but yeah, it was excellent and chatted it up with a few, fans, Auburn and Vandy. Watched a little Alabama LSU. And then by the end of that, I was beat, man. I had an early flight to get back to Fort Lauderdale the next morning, so I didn't really uh and just fresh off an Auburn beat, a beating,
Yeah.
a loss. It was just like emotionally I'm drained, So I took it easy, went to bed, and but yeah, I had a great time in Nashville. I had a really good experience. Got to see you. We went to Nashville for breakfast Saturday morning, and um, really enjoyed that. And yeah, I think overall, if you get a chance to go to Nashville, number one, you should. And if you get a chance to go to Nashville to go to a football game, that's worth it. Well worth it as well. Um, you're going to be blown away by Vanderbilt's stadium and Vanderbilt's, college football presence. Maybe not compared to where you're coming from, but it is a good environment. It's a fun place, and hats off to Clark Lee and all the Vanderbilt folks for having a winning team and bringing that fan base together to care about Saturday football.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Vanderbilt lose for years and years and years. Basically, as long as I've watched with a few exceptions when what's the coach from
James Franklin
Penn State
was there.
When
Yeah.
James Franklin was there. That's really the only exception I can remember before Clark Lee, where Vanderbilt had really decent football teams, and the rest of the time they haven't been good. So to see fans cheering for Vanderbilt and being excited about Vanderbilt football to me is kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's like good for them. They deserve that.
Yeah.
And so, no hate here. I'm happy for them. Wish it wasn't against Auburn, but they have a good team and they might even be in the playoffs. And if they do, I'll be rooting for them. But yeah, it was a fun experience and I'm glad I got to do it. So being a TSIO co-host here and being able to experience some SEC football is always a good thing. And being able to do it in Bradley's stomping grounds of Nashville, Tennessee was even better. So,
Very much my stomping grounds. I literally grew up about 3 blocks from that football stadium, and this is the first season that they've had open their new renovations.
mhm.
So um, they've
Yeah,
they've done
yeah.
a
I mean,
lot
the
of work.
experience of the field was great. Everything's nice when you're walking around the stadium, and
Yeah,
I had no issues with it. I thought it was really good. I
no,
didn't
it
walk in and be like, "Oh, this is pitiful." Like, I didn't feel that way at all. Like, it felt like a smaller stadium, but a nice stadium.
yeah,
So,
it was cool. Now this uh, state championship for football is played at MTSU in Murfreesboro, but for a long time it was at Vanderbilt. And so scrawny little 5'2", 120-pound Bradley stood on the sideline at Vanderbilt's football stadium back, that would have been uh 2001, I believe, where we lost in the state championship, but um uh, went to several games there as a fan when my high school played there. It was cool to see that. In back then, it's probably about as full for a high school football game as it was a Vanderbilt football game. Um,
yeah.
they they pack the house a little bit more these days with good teams, but um, no, I'm glad you came into town. You had a couple days. I know you saw a comedy show at Zany's, which is a really cool comedy house in Nashville. Um, we had some weather come through on Friday because I know we were talking about trying to get out to a high school football game because it's the playoffs.
Yeah, that was the idea until we saw the weather, and then we saw the weather, and we're like, yeah, we're not going to a college or a
Yeah,
high school football game.
yeah, no, it,
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because obviously I love football, and I would absolutely go to a high school football game, but the weather was so bad you wouldn't dream of going to a football game in that
it
weather. So
it was so bad that
yeah,
about half the games even moved to Thursday night to avoid the weather.
well, that
Um,
makes sense after going through it. So
and then I had actually texted Chris to say, "Hey, I know Jared's been to town before. What have y'all done?" So that I didn't want to take you to the same restaurant where you'd been before. You had done Pancake Pantry,
yep,
which is just it's one of those things you have to do. Great pancakes, but a
yeah, I
place
loved it.
that
I had a blast.
a place that I actually enjoy more than Pancake Pantry is Nashville. Noshville. It's a New York style deli,
Hmm.
but it's great for breakfast. So we got to have bagels and omelets and cinnamon rolls. But it was great. I believe I talked too much, but it was
Whatever.
it was a great time hanging out with you and your buddy Mike.
Yeah, that's Mike
Uh,
Duffy. Mike and I went to high school together. He was in my wedding. Great guy. And he lives in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. So he actually drove all the way from Doylestown to Nashville for the
Dang.
weekend. And we stayed with at his cousin's place, who lives in East Nashville. And so we had a really good experience overall, just enjoying Nashville and getting to visit friends like you, Bradley, and Chris
Yeah,
Murphy, and a couple others. And I got another buddy of mine I got to see named Dan. So yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, it
that's
was
awesome.
really, I
It
mean, definitely go to Nashville if you can. And if you can do it and see a football game, that's even better.
Yeah, and I'm glad you made it to Satco. It is
Yeah, so that was
it's
well
a
worth it.
family favorite. We would go quite often growing up because it was not far from our house. But it's then in high school we loved going down there. Um it We would normally go, and of course where I went to high school is about 30 minutes south of Vanderbilt, but we could go on a Friday or Saturday night and see other classmates there. It was quite popular, and it's on the edge of Vanderbilt's campus, so you often see a lot of Vanderbilt people there. But it's a cool vibe. It's a cool hang because it's got a big patio. Um, it's right on the edge of campus, and it is exactly what you need to soothe a broken heart after a loss. Um, so I'm glad you got to do all of that before heading back home. Um, the only other game this last weekend, Florida losing handily to mightily to Kentucky. Kentucky won
I cannot
8-7.
believe that they allowed Kentucky to just stomp them like that. That's crazy.
Um,
What in the
I know,
world?
I know at Kroger Field.
Your favorite stadium in all the SEC,
Dang.
especially at night.
Yeah, it's just there's not much uh worse than that. Um looking forward. So some good matchups
Mm.
this weekend as well. South Carolina at Texas A&M. We got Arkansas at LSU. Uh Battle for the boot, I believe is Arkansas LSU. Tennessee Tech, 10-0 Tennessee Tech going to Kentucky. Um we'll have to see what happens there. Um Oklahoma
That
going
Tennessee
to
Tech is undefeated, I believe.
yeah, 10-0.
Yep.
That look out Kentucky.
That
Uh
that yeah, that maybe they'll test him. We'll see.
I don't have a point spread on this on ESPN, which is kind of interesting. But uh this is a game that I'm going to be paying attention to. Um Number 11 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama. Um
Yeah, maybe we'll see Alabama take a hit against Oklahoma. Although if they're going to take a hit, I'd rather it be in the Iron Bowl. Um,
won't we all? Don't
yeah.
we all?
hmm
Uh, Tennessee has homecoming hosting New Mexico State. Um, Florida, ooh,
Watch out for New Mexico State, man. We underestimated them 2 years ago. Like, of course, they had Diego Pavia then, but
yeah, there's they are 3-6
okay,
with
you're probably okay.
no Diego.
So
The point spread is 41.5,
yeah,
but we
okay,
still have to go out and play.
that's probably true. Yeah, that will probably be what will happen. So
Florida goes to Ole Miss.
I wouldn't bet on Florida right now.
No.
Not after uh embarrassing game like that in Kentucky.
Yeah,
So
I want to see Lane Kiffin finish this season strong with his
yeah,
team.
yeah, I think so.
Um, the other game that I'm very interested in, number 10 Texas going to number 5 Georgia.
Mm.
Um, Two teams that have struggled on offense this year, but both have they kind of figured it out by now? I don't know. Um, we'll see how that shakes out. And then Mississippi State going to Missouri. Um, Missouri needing to bounce back after that loss this week. So that's uh those are your football scores. By the way, if you're looking for a cheap ticket, Arkansas at LSU, $6.
There you go.
Tech at Kentucky, 14. Um, Everything else is 45 and above
Hmm.
or so. But your hottest ticket is Texas, Georgia. I'm really surprised Oklahoma, Alabama, $47
Yeah, that seems pretty affordable for such a big game. So,
because South Carolina at Texas A&M, 215.
wow. Wow.
I guess people are wanting to see A&M before the end of the season.
Well, uh, yeah, they've got South Carolina. I know they got Texas coming up. Likely an SEC championship game and then a run in the playoffs. So, yeah, good. I don't know, man. I'm on board with Texas A&M. I think they're legit. So
I know.
they need to prove me otherwise. But
Well,
right now I'm a believer.
yeah. Doing what they thought they were gonna do with Jimbo Fisher, except this time it's with
Yeah, isn't
Mike
that
Elko.
interesting? So whenever I hear Jimbo Fisher's name come up in any kind of coaching search, especially with Auburn, I just want to vomit. So it's like, no,
Yeah.
don't you dare bring up his name in an Auburn coaching search. That's not happening.
Yeah.
There
I,
would be hell to pay if Auburn even considered that. Like the fans would just revolt.
I mean,
Um,
it was head scratching when he left Florida State.
it'd
Um,
be like Tennessee trying to hire Shiano. That's what it'd be like.
we tried that once.
Yeah, can you tell that brief story? I think for anybody that might listen, be like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What?"
So, by the way, I'm trying to remember his name. Curry was the athletic director.
Mm,
A little background on him. He was assistant athletic director in 2008, really pushing to have Phil Fulmer fired. Fulmer was, granted, he was not winning like he should. There were some recruiting violations happening.
yes.
Um, but uh, he, I'm trying to remember. This was we had fired Butch Jones. We were looking for a new coach, and the coaching search was very mysterious. There were lots of rumors, but Curry was holding his cards very close to his chest. Apparently, he was sending the the Tennessee Jet to one place, and he was going another. Um, Probably because he knew that people would not like who he was going to talk to in Greg Schiano. Um,
Yeah, that still seems like that would have been the weirdest hire ever.
yeah, just yeah. Well, and it was a weird hire for about
Oh
24
yeah,
hours.
you guys did actually hire him, didn't you? Or you're about to.
Apparently, an offer was made and accepted, and um, the fan
The
revolt
backlash. Yeah.
was so strong that I
Yeah,
don't know.
they couldn't make it happen. Yeah.
I guess it was Tennessee's chancellor. Um, I don't know if Plowman was there then. I guess she was. Uh, wouldn't sign his his employment agreement is what I heard. Either her or Randy Boyd, president of University of Tennessee Schools. Um, so basically, somebody vetoed the hire, fired the AD. That's when we hired Phil Fulmer. He went and got um, Jeremy
Pruitt.
Pruitt. That
Yeah, Pruitt.
that did
Yeah.
that did not work. Phil Fulmer was not um, the AD we needed, but he did bring kind of that Vol for life, um, pride back to the athletic department.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a strange. All of that was so strange. I remember it was just like, because there was rumors too of what's the gentleman that went from Washington State to Mississippi State? Mike Leach.
yeah,
Like there was a
Mike
rumor
Leach
Mike
was
Leach
rumored.
was potentially in the mix, and I think why would you get Shiano if you could get Mike Leach? Like,
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
John Gruden apparently was close to taking the job.
that
Um,
would have been interesting.
it would have been
Mm,
very interesting. I even back then I was like, I think he's been out of coaching too long.
mm.
But his first job after graduating college was a graduate assistant at University of Tennessee. His wife was a Tennessee cheerleader. So there's always been a lot of ties back to Tennessee, um, which kind of always there was always um, a bit of could this really happen when the groomers would start. So,
The
um,
groomers. Yep.
so then, yeah, that whole Shiano story is fantastic.
And
Just
it really did happen. There should be like a a documentary about just that.
yeah,
Like that
if
that was
there's not a
so
30 for 30, there
weird.
needs to be.
That was a weird one, man. That
It,
was that I can't recall any other coaching search on that level going in that direction and ending in that way. That
and
was a strange, strange thing.
and you talk about some rabid fans.
Yeah.
That is how rabid Tennessee fans are and can get.
Yeah,
Um,
they weren't messing around. That's
no,
for sure.
Vol Nation is very big and very vocal. When Tennessee's good, I understand why people do not like Tennessee fans. And when they're bad, a lot of people like when Tennessee's bad. But um, I'm, Kirk Herbstreit has said it. Many other people have said it. And I certainly agree. College football is better when Tennessee is playing well.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Um, but that's football. If you haven't heard, basketball season has tipped off.
Amen. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I know you can't wait. Um, we're gonna hit just kind of scores. We won't get into all this too much. But just some scores from this last weekend. Number 15, Alabama is 2-0 after beating St. John's 103-96. Uh, good
Yeah,
game
that's a
there.
Rick Pitino led St. John's, by the way.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
Um, Arkansas, number 14, Arkansas fell to number 22, Michigan State, 69-66.
Yeah,
Uh,
no excuse there. Not when you're paying the money you're paying.
yeah, I can't remember if I doubt that game was at Michigan State. That had to be some sort of one of these early season. Um,
Or maybe Michigan State's really that good and Arkansas is still getting their team together
yeah,
for
talk about two Hall of
Calipari's
Famers,
second season. But yeah,
two Hall of
because I
Famers,
know,
and
yeah, there
Tommy
was a lot of
Izzo and John
transfers.
Calipari facing
Yeah,
off is pretty cool.
it is. Yeah, I agree.
Um, and in Calipari teams, I don't take anything they do in the first half of the season seriously
Yeah,
because
that's pretty fair to say.
look at his teams at Memphis, at Kentucky, last year at Arkansas. They go on a tear at the end of the year um, when they when he kind of finds that chemistry and really gets his team playing well. Um,
Well said. Yep.
Northern Kentucky, Arkansas's 1-1 by the way. Northern Kentucky went into Thompson Bowling Arena at Tennessee and loses by 29 to number 18 Tennessee. Tennessee's 2-0. Tennessee warming up with some really inferior competition to get started, but in a week or so, it's going to pick up. It may be in December that the competition gets much tougher.
So
Oklahoma
you could
is
argue
one.
it's nice to have some of these cupcakes to kind of get get the rotations and stuff
Yeah,
going. So,
Tennessee's there trying to figure out rotations.
mhm.
Um, Oklahoma is 1-1 after falling to Gonzaga 83-68. Texas is 1-1 after beating Lafayette 97-60. Vanderbilt taking on UCF. Vanderbilt's now 2-0, winning 105-93. And then we've got some Sunday scores as well. Georgia's 3-0 after beating Morehead State 120-81. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, Morehead State is, guess maybe not known for their defense, but who
No.
knows? It could just
Um,
be a mismatch.
apparently Georgia's not made known for their defense either because 81 scored on them, and 81's
Yeah,
not enough to win. That's
yeah.
amazing. Um, 2-1 Texas A&M falls to Oklahoma State 87-63. Missouri beats VMI to move to 3-0 106-68, and South Carolina beats Southern Miss 83-79 to move to 2-0. When did Auburn play? Was it
Auburn
Monday?
played, I know they played a game last week. They played tonight, as of this recording, which is,
Tuesday
um,
night.
yeah, Tuesday night. So they played Wofford and just, whooped them handily. I watched, a lot of that game, and that was fun. After our football team losing to Vanderbilt and every other team in the last several weeks. So yeah, basketball is kind of where the hope is for Auburn, but I'm not assuming Auburn's going to be the Final Four or even the SEC champs this year, but I think they've got a good squad. So
Yeah, they're finding their lineup and breaking in a new coach.
yeah, they won by over 30 against Wofford. So, but Wofford, in fairness, ends up winning their conference and going to uh, the NCAA tournament pretty often. So they're not complete cupcake, but they're not on the level of an SEC hoops
Yeah.
squad. So,
We are in the final seconds of Kentucky Louisville. It looks like Louisville will likely win that one.
oh wow, and yeah, that's they're ranked lower than Kentucky. So
Yeah,
Kentucky, shame on them.
it's close. It number 9 Kentucky, number 12 Louisville. Um, and this is a heated rivalry. I've got a Kentucky. I've got a friend who's a Kentucky fan who, I mean, this is taking it to
Well,
an
this game is in Louisville,
yeah.
so
He takes it to another level where he will drive around Louisville city limits when he has to travel from Nashville to family in Ohio.
wow.
Um,
Yeah, he's not stopping for gas in Louisville. Is that what you're telling me?
no, he is not stopping at all. Florida did win a nail biter over Florida
Yeah,
State.
that game. I watched the end of that game, and yeah, Florida, I thought handled it pretty well. Florida State just got a little bit lucky there at the end, but yeah, Florida won that game. So
Um, it, Florida fan at my office was like, "Yeah, you gonna talk trash about Florida losing in their opening game to uh, I can't remember if it was Arizona or Arizona State."
that
And I
was
was like,
Arizona. Yeah,
I was like, no, one, that game was in Vegas, so Arizona just has to go north. Florida is flying 3/4 of the way across the country, and
I mean Arizona's a good Big 12 program, so it's
Arizona is no
yeah.
slouch this
No,
year
they've
either.
always been decent at basketball. So
So I,
yeah, I would have figured Florida would have won that, but given the situation, I mean, it is what it is, and it's a long season, man. You're not going to win them all.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, Florida is still very dangerous this year. So, yeah, basketball season getting underway. Expect more of that from the from the third March third Saturday in March, third March in October, third
yeah,
Saturday in March. Yeah,
yeah,
um, TSIM.
yeah.
Because hey, basketball season is going to be exciting in the
It
SEC.
is. It's always exciting in the SEC, and this year will be no different. So
Yeah. Um, a lot happening. There's a few games left, 3 weeks left in the regular season. Will your team go bowling? Will they make the playoffs? There's still a lot of questions to be asked and to be answered. Um, I hope Vanderbilt wins and goes into Knoxville as a two-loss team on the verge of the playoffs. And I hope my Vols uh, dash Vanderbilt's hopes. Um,
Well, you're likely going to be in a situation to do that, and that's going to be a good game. So,
it's going to be
and
a very good
yeah, I
game.
think
I will be there.
Tennessee should not sleep on Vanderbilt for sure. But Vanderbilt, if they play the way they did against Auburn against Tennessee, I think they could be coming out of there with another loss. So
Yeah. Um, I Now, of course, I felt very good about our chances going into the Oklahoma game. I don't think we make that same mistake twice. But I will be amped up for that game. But first, let's get through this next week first. Because
absolutely, yep,
we still got to win two more games before we get there. Oh, I love college football. I can't believe that we are 9 games through the season, 10 weeks in, um, 11 weeks in, whatever it is. But we'll see. I thought teams that I thought were going to be impressive this year, not so much. Teams that I thought were on the brink of collapse have proven otherwise. It's a lot of fun watching 18 to 22, 23, 24 year olds play football. Um, it is a Forrest Gump box of chocolates every week. So this is why we play the games and this is why we watch. Jared, I'm so glad you made it to Nashville. I'm sorry the outcome was what it was, but I'm glad you had a good time otherwise. Um, we will have to make sure you get back for another game soon that has a better outcome for your Auburn Tigers.
well, I had a blast and no regrets. So yeah,
Um, Find us online, third Saturday in October.com. Maybe we'll start third March in October as well, just
yeah,
because
why not?
it's so confusing. Who knows?
It's
Find
okay.
us find us
Yeah,
on social media at TSIO Pod and on Venmo at TSIO Pod if you want to support the show, or go to buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod to pay for our omelet and cinnamon roll uh, at Nashville
amen.
on Saturday mornings. Um, Jared, I know we talked about this at breakfast. So glad to have you on board. This has been an awesome 2 seasons. Have really enjoyed this with you. Um, you are a hero to me, to your family, and to a lot of other people. Um, and that's why heroes come in all sizes. Roll Vols.
War Eagle, despite the loss with Vanderbilt, and looking forward to more football. It's not over. Basketball coming up already. Good times, man. Always a good time to be an SEC fan. So,
Tailgate, man cave, living room, pre-game, burgers, ribs, chicken wings, chipping